Hi everyone, this is the recording for Entering the Modern Era Part 2, Quiz 2. This is the second quiz you'll be taking in Part B of U.S. History. You can find this quiz by going over to your course navigation bar. It's in blue over here on the left. You click on the Unit 1 tab, and once it expands to show you all the options, you'll find the quiz for Part 2 right underneath the lesson for Part 2. So here's the lesson, and then here's the quiz. Once you click on the quiz, you can click on this first button here to begin your test. It will show up with a screen that gives you some reminders here. Just reminding you that you can take the quiz several times. You always want to make sure before you go into the quiz the second time that you check what you got wrong. You can do that by clicking on your grade in the grade book and seeing the questions that you got incorrect on the quiz. If you're not sure how to do that, go to the How Do I Do That Frequently Asked Questions area of the course, select the drop-down menu, and choose How Do I find out what I got wrong on a checkpoint quiz or test. That will bring you to a video that shows you how to do that. Now, if you have a different teacher and your course is not set up that way, just contact them to ask them how to look up what you missed on the quiz, and they will be happy to help you. Typically, it's just by clicking on the quiz in the quiz grade in the grade book. Okay, once you go past your reminders, it is going to ask you to save your answers as you go and then submit for grading. So once you enter your quiz, you'll see here save answers. So save them as you go. Click submit for grading. If you don't do this, it will not successfully record in your grade book, and that will be an issue because it will not add on to your overall grade for the course. So make sure you save as you go and then submit for grading. It's always a good practice to write down, for example, on this quiz you have 7 questions, to write down from 1 to 7 on a piece of paper or type it in some kind of a Word document and record the answer that you think it is. If your internet goes out, you will be able to go back into the quiz and fix anything that you missed in case you lost your work. Okay, so let's get started with this quiz. It is 7 questions long and it's 2 points per question for a total of 14 points. The first question is, how did railroads influence modern business practices? They transported significant amounts of goods and built national marketing systems. By using cheap labor and holding down wages, railroad entrepreneurs served as models for the government. The third option, their owners formed corporations, oversaw complex procedures, and sold huge amounts of stocks and bonds. Or the last option, they brought together several giants of industry who formed a business coalition. Question number 2, what is a monopoly? Vertical integration that connects one business with another, horizontal integration that connects one business with another, or complete control of a commodity, business, or product, or the last option, a plan to build competition throughout an industry. Number 3, what was the most common impact of new inventions on American life? They increased costs and provided a basis for family disputes. They reduced costs but made life more difficult. They created problems, increased pollution, and made life harder. Or they made life easier, more productive, and more profitable. Number 4, what is the difference between blue-collar worker and a white-collar worker? First option is that white-collar workers must wear a shirt and a tie to work, but blue-collar workers can dress casually. Blue-collar workers have defined work clothes or protective attire, while white-collar workers wear white shirts. White-collar workers keep their clothes clean during the course of the workday, and blue-collar workers do not. Or the last option, blue-collar workers are unskilled manual laborers, and white-collar workers are professional or semi-professionals. Number 5, what attitude did most capitalists have toward unions? Capitalists supported unions and helped workers achieve some of the most important goals. Capitalists wanted laissez-faire economy with few regulations and little interference. Capitalists often built towns for their workers and charged them very little to live there, leading to low union membership. Or the last option, capitalists appreciated having unions because they usually made their businesses more profitable. Number 6, how did the government respond to organized labor in the later part of the 19th century? The government usually moved quickly to stop strikes and other labor disturbances. The government passed laws to help improve conditions and wages for workers. The government encouraged organized labor by passing favorable tax legislation for members. Or the last option, the government remained neutral during labor actions, preferring to let factory owners handle each situation. Number 7, and our last question for the second quiz in entering the modern era, is how did the experience of most Asian immigrants at Angel Island differ from the Europeans at Ellis Island? It was very similar. It was easier and quicker, as Asian immigrants were generally more well liked. It took longer, and they were treated poorly, reflecting the widespread bias against Asians. Or the last option, it was very similar, although it did take longer. Once you have completed your quiz, hopefully you've been saving your answers throughout, save one last time and then submit for grading. Always check your gradebook to make sure that your grade has appeared correctly in the gradebook. If there is a problem, make sure that you contact your teacher right away. Good luck on your quiz.